International financial institutions or IFIs play an important role in the social and economic development programs of nations with developing or transitional economies in many parts of the world. This position entails providing advice on development projects, funding them, and assisting with their implementation. Our discussion today will revolve around the International Financial Institution, which is the first lesson of Module 3. Market integration.
The learning competency that we need to achieve for this lesson is: explain the role of international financial institutions in the creation of a global economy. Here are the questions that will guide us in the discussion of the lesson. 1. What are international financial institutions? The types of international financial institutions? 2. How do international financial institutions impose their influence on developing and transitioning countries?
To begin our discussion, let's us first establish the definition of an IFI and its basic functions. An international financial institution or IFI is a company that has been established or chartered by more than one country and thus is subject to international law. It deals with financial and monetary transactions such as deposits, loans, investments, and currency exchange. Its owners or shareholders are typically national governments, though other international institutions and organizations may be shareholders on occasion. Although some bilateral financial institutions, created by two countries, exist and are technically IFIs, the most prominent IFIs are the creations of multiple nations. The most well-known IFIs were established after World War II to aid in the reconstruction of Europe and to provide mechanisms for international cooperation in the management of the global financial system. International financial institutions can be grouped into multilateral and bilateral, which is based on the nature of membership. The most common type of IFIs is multilateral. A multilateral international financial institution is created by a group of countries that provides financing and professional advice to improve development. It has many members, including both developed donor and developing borrower countries. It funds projects with long-term loans at market rates, very long-term loans at below market rates also known as credits, and grants. Multilateral international financial institutions can be classified further into global international financial institutions and regional international financial institutions. Global international financial institutions have members in different parts of the world. The World Bank is considered a GIFI because of the scope of its members. It provides loans and grants to the governments of poorer countries for the purpose of pursuing capital projects. On the other hand, regional international financial institutions have functions similar to the World Bank Group's activities, but with a particular focus on a specific region. The best known of these regional banks that cover regions are the Inter-American Development Bank, the Asian Development Bank, the African Development Bank, the Central American Bank for Economic Integration, and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. The second type of IFI is bilateral. The bilateral international financial institution is set up by one individual country to finance development projects in a developing country and its emerging market, hence the term bilateral. Examples include the Netherlands Development Finance Company FMO. Its headquarters is in The Hague and one of the largest bilateral development banks worldwide. The DEG German Investment Corporation. It is headquartered in Cologne, Germany. The French Development Agency. It is founded in 1816 and is headquartered in Paris, France. The CDC Group is a development finance institution owned by the UK government headquartered in London.
In many parts of the world, international financial institutions post great influence in the social and economic development programs of nations with developing or transitional economies. This is manifested in their shared objectives, ways to achieve their objectives, and conditions set by them to the borrowers. The first factor of influence by international financial institutions is revealed in their shared objectives. The different IFIs operate independently. All, however, share the following goals and objectives. 1. To reduce global poverty and improve people's living conditions and standards. 2. To support sustainable economic, social and institutional development. And 3. To promote regional cooperation and integration. Another way on how IFIs impost influences the manner in how they achieve their objectives. To ensure that the common objectives of the IFIs are achieved, they 1. Fund specific projects that focus on economic and socially sustainable development. 2. Provide technical and advisory assistance to their borrowers. 3. Conduct extensive research on development issues. And 4. Lend directly to non-sovereign guaranteed NSG actors. The most crucial influence of IFIs lies on the conditions they set to the borrowers. One of the major functions of IFIs is lending to help member countries in their economic goals. However, according to Olivier Williamson, there are attached conditions to the lending of IFIs. These conditions are 1. Fiscal discipline. 2. Redirection of public expenditure priorities toward fields offering both high economic returns and the potential to improve income distribution. 3. Tax reform to lower marginal rates and broaden the tax base. 4. Interest rate liberalization. 5. A competitive exchange rate. 6. Trade liberalization. 7. Liberalization of inflows of foreign direct investment. 8. Privatization. 9. Deregulation to abolish barriers to entry and exit. 10. Secure property rights, try to evaluate the most common conditions set by IFIs to the borrowers. Will these conditions contribute greatly to the economic development of the developing and transitioning countries?